Hello everybody, welcome back to Ellitopia Gaming, and we're back with Trackday Manager on the Sunny Marina race circuit. This episode is going to be kind of a mashup of a few races. I figured that we needed to kind of keep up with the opposition on the leaderboard, so rather than showing just one race, I am going to go through 3 races that we have done, so that I could pick up some extra points just to keep up with the other players that are playing this. So this is the Sunny Marina circuit. We started in 16th position, which is just about typical. The first lap on this race was actually surprisingly good. The driver really did a good job. As you can see, just on this first corner, had a bit of a collision, but we kind of pushed through the field really quickly, avoiding the flying car. We went right up to 9th, 8th, 9th, 7th. I mean, we didn't actually hold 7th for particularly very long, but we got right up to 7th in the space of 1 lap, and then slid out and dropped back down to 8th again. But we did particularly well on the start of this lap, which shows how quickly these races can change, and that's kind of going to be a running theme for this episode: how quickly a race can change, both for good and for not quite so good. So we had an extremely good start to this race. I believe this was race 4. This was the first race after the race in episode 3. So and you'll notice in the races, you'll notice that I've got some chat going on here. This is talking to Bobby Ra, I believe it is. He is actually one of the developers over at Arctic Hazard, and he was giving me a couple of tips throughout this race. He recognised who I was because I've been chatting to him on Steam. But it was quite nice to be racing against someone who knew the game quite well. Jumping forward to the 3rd lap, you can see that I was in a tussle here. I was still in 7th position, which was quite good. I was in a tussle here to push up to 5th position. I was doing quite well, but something kind of went wrong, as you can see. And again, in the space of 1 lap, I have dropped from 7th down to 12th, and then back up to 7th again, because I went past all the people in the pits. This was quite a nice manoeuvre. I went round the outside of these 5 cars, and then this was not such a nice manoeuvre, as I rammed into the wall and ended up facing the wrong direction. So that kind of messed this race up a little bit. Although, as I've said, races can change pretty quickly. We go into the pits, we're about 8th or 9th, thereabouts. We don't have a terrible pit stop. The car behind us decides that it wants to mow down our rear jack man and then disappear, which is quite interesting. But there we go, 14.02 seconds is quite a long pit stop, and we come out in, oh look, 16th position. It seems to be a running thing with me. I can go into the pits in any position whatsoever. I've been into the pits in 3rd position and come out in 16th. So I think we really need to improve our pit crew somewhere along the line. Lap 7, you can see that I had quite a good lap here. This was obviously coming towards the end of the race, and I was really pushing hard, trying to get whatever position I possibly could. Flew through a few people in the field and managed to kind of push my way through to 11th position, which I was quite pleased with at this point, having been at 16th for a good few laps after that pit stop. The guys behind me had a bit of a tussle. Nicely round this corner, kept it nice and tight. Would have been nicer with a little bit more grip. I had switched to hard tyres by this point because the soft tyres had worn out, and I kind of misjudged my pit stop, which was partly why I was losing position so quickly. But switching to the hard tyres meant that I didn't have to pit for a second time, so that was quite handy. After the advice of Bobby Ra, I now know how to handle this track slightly differently. It is kind of a 2-stop if you're on soft tyres, because they wear out pretty quickly. But this is all things that we're going to have to learn as we become more and more experienced with this game. So coming into the start of the last lap in 13th position, dropping down to 14th position, and that's pretty much the tune for the rest of the race. We finished the race in 11th position, which is not fantastic. It could have been worse. Bobby Ra got pretty much every badge going, as you'll see there. He got all 3 zone badges. He got the best lap badge. Shell Helix got the top speed badge. Gateville got the best crew badge. I got the power slider badge, which is probably because I was driving around on bald tyres for quite some time. But there we go. And Bobby Ra got the Go Green award as well, just to rub it in. So there we go, only 1 badge from that race, but we did pick up a new sponsor. We picked up Fjordcraft, and they have offered us $3,100 for displaying their stickers, and a bonus of $100 if we can win 2 medals. So we added their stickers to our car and headed straight into another race. Now this time we've started at 9th position, which is not too bad. I'm not really sure how the starting positions are picked in this game. It does seem to be a little bit random, although it might be based on the results in the previous race or something like that. I'll have to speak to the developers on that one. I'm not 100% sure how that is picked. But we are off to a good start. We didn't lose any position. Well, we lost 1 position, 2 positions actually. But not a terrible start, and then we almost lose a lot more positions, and then we kind of get caught in the pack of cars. We are totally stuck, and we're at 16th position again, which, as I've said, is kind of a running theme with me. I can be doing really, really well, and then all of a sudden I'll be at 16th position. So we have a lot to do. We have to push through the field. There are a couple of opportunities for overtaking here. That wasn't one of them. This particular corner here, a lot of people tend to run wide, so you can kind of keep on the inside and do quite well on that corner. So if you judge it right, you can do okay. So we had a bit of a tussle. We're trying to push through the field. It's tricky on this occasion for some reason. We are struggling to push past anybody. A couple of people running wide on a few corners. We get a couple of opportunities for overtaking, but not really a lot. One person overheated there, but then was nudged back to speed by the other racers. A couple of people running wide there, but in the end we kind of push ourselves around and we finish the lap in 13th position. So we go into lap 2 in 13th position and we drop back to 15th, 14th. Not a great start to the race, but we do set the top speed record temporarily, 312 kilometers an hour. Sadly that doesn't last until the end of the race on this particular occasion. Jumping into lap 3, we go into the pits for our first pit stop, and this is part of the 2-stop strategy that was recommended to us by Bobby Ra. He recommended a stop on laps 3 and 6 to ensure that our tyres are nice and fresh all the way around the race. So we jump in for a quick tyre change and obviously a refuel. I think we go for about 70% fuel, 71% fuel on this occasion. Yeah, there we go, and a new set of soft tyres. 8.6 seconds, that's not bad. That's probably the quickest lap time I've had so far. But again, we come out the pits in 16th position. Wonderful. Jumping forward to the end of lap 4, going into lap 5, we are in 15th position and pushing to try and pick up some positions there. We run past loads and loads of people that are in the pits, which pushes us right up to 6th position. So if we play our cards right, we could find ourselves doing okay. Kind of run wide a bit there, but we are catching up with the guys in this kind of little pack in front of us. So it's time to try and push past those. We managed to push on the inside, but aren't quite able to keep up with these guys at this point. So we're looking for an opportunity to take them on the inside, and they give it to us rather nicely. They run wide together trying to fight each other, and we just kind of slip up the inside, and there we go, and we're up to 4th position. Now if we can hold 4th position, that would be absolutely fantastic. Jumping forward to lap 6, we didn't quite keep 4th position, but we've kept 6th position at the moment as we go into the pits for our 2nd pit stop on lap 6. You can see our tyres are just starting to die on us, and we have 4% fuel left. So we're going to go for a 50% refuel and another set of soft tyres. Levox set the best lap while we're in there, and you can already see that our position is dropping and dropping and dropping as all those people that we passed in the pits pass us by. 8 seconds, nearly 9 seconds in the pit stop, and oh look, we're in 16th position. Although we take Encart, puts us in 15th position. Not quite as bad as 16th, but yes, as usual, we're back to the back of the pack. Going into the last lap, we are in 14th position. Managed to pick up that one from Motol Supersport there, and the top speed record that we had set has been beaten by Statoil. We have kind of got a pack of cars here that we can get past, hopefully, and the driver does a nice job of overtaking on the outside of the corner, which is quite uncommon. There is Statoil, who just set the fastest lap, sorry, the fastest speed, and then he runs wide so we can nip up the inside of him. Again, nice and tight round this corner, plenty of grip on those tyres so we can hold that corner very well. And we are pushing to pick up with Encart, who somehow got back in front of us and way ahead of us. But I'm not sure that we have enough track left to catch him up. It's quite tricky to catch up that amount of space on your last lap. So we are looking at finishing in 12th position, except Arctic Hazard runs out of fuel. Expert Racing wins the race, and Shutter Racing runs out of fuel. Levox runs out of fuel. Shell Helix runs out of fuel. Lots of people running out of fuel. Now, this is an interesting bug. We crossed the line in 12th position, and there are some of those cars that ran out of fuel, and yet it awards us 8th position. So what's actually happened is we crossed the line in 12th, but those who ran out of fuel have been penalised and pushed to the back of the rankings. So although we finished in 12th, we've been awarded 8th. Now, personally, I don't think that that was particularly fair, and I have spoken to the developers about that particular one. I've left a bug report on that, so that might get fixed, because obviously if you do cross the line in a position, then that should be the position that you get, unless someone gets disqualified. But I don't think they've actually added any form of disqualification into this game. We got extra $100 for winning the medal. That was our award from our sponsor, and we picked up another new sponsor, Rodskogen, one of the sponsors of one of the tracks. So this is Rodskogen, another $3,100, and another potential bonus of $150 if we can win 3 medals. So we add their stickers to our car as well. Now we've picked up 200 XP, so it's time to have a look at spending some of that. We said we need to improve our pit crew because they are kind of letting us down a little bit. So that is where our points are going. We spend some on the tyre change to speed up the tyre change, and we spend some on the jack team to improve the speed of lifting us up and dropping us on the jack. So there we go. We've improved our pit crew, and we're into another race, this time starting in 4th position, which is a good start for us, particularly considering that we finished in 8th in the previous race. So that again is not necessarily how they judge where you start in the next race. And we are away, dropped to 5th straight away because of a slightly skiddy start. Nicely into the lineup of cars. So can we hold 5th position for the entirety of this race? I'll give you a hint. The answer is no. Lap 6, we have dropped down to 7th position as we go into our first pit stop. And everyone seems to come into the pits with us. So this seems like, for once, we might not leave the pits in 16th position. We're on the jack is up. Our fuel is going in. We are on hard tyres. We have kept our tyres on, and this is just a refueling pit stop. But you'll notice they still jacked us up. Again, that's something I've mentioned to the developers. So we had an 11.92 second pit stop, and oh look, we're leaving the pits in 16th position. Really don't know what's going on there. But yeah, the jacking the car up when you're not changing the tyres, that loses you some vital seconds. I've spoken to the developers and they are patching that one. They are going to make it so that you can pull into the pits and refuel without being jacked up to save those vital seconds. So now we have everything to do. We're back to 16th and we are pushing through the pack again. We get some opportunities straight away to push through the pack, which is great. So we take obviously every opportunity we can. We don't really get that many opportunities in this race, and somehow Shutter is driving like a maniac and has masses of speed. So this is us on the last lap. This is lap 10 and we are in 14th position. Again, not a very good race. So whilst we have been getting plenty of practice, we don't really seem to have been improving that much, which is a pain. It is a pain. We need a lot more practice in this to be able to compete against some of the other players. Now what's interesting is there are now a lot more players joining the beta, and I've been given a few beta keys to give out to people. I'm currently running a prize draw which actually draws on Friday the 15th, so if you're watching this you best get in there pretty quickly. If you haven't missed it already, which you may have done because I didn't really give you much warning. But I have been posting on Twitter, I've been posting in the forums, I've been posting everywhere I can think of to try and advertise the prize draw so that people can get in on this beta, and I will be giving those keys away very, very soon so that we can get more and more people playing this game, so that rather than racing against bots, we are going to be racing against actual people. Until you are able to join me, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and there are methods in the description as to how you can support us in other ways. I've been El Bristow, thank you for watching.